Hi, welcome to my channel, Psychic Kathleen. If you have been following this series of explaining a client's issue, clients who come to see me in person, they have an issue, typically several, but often there's a theme that's really at the core of the reason that they're coming to see me. And the cards that have been drawn in combination with my intuition and feelings throughout the reading, the discussion we have, and sometimes I'm able to share a summary as well. Today, a woman in her just turned 60 a year ago. She's just about to turn 61. She came to see me because she feels as though her life has been in a holding pattern and she's tired of it. She wants something different, but she doesn't know what that is. She is on leave presently from her work and is convinced she will not return. She had been an event planner, very stressful job. Lots of clients. She worked for one organization in particular, but she found the work just getting increasingly tiring and stressful. So, excuse me, she has decided to look around for something else. She's feeling guilty about being at home while her husband is at work. He likes his work. And he certainly is not feeling any resentment about the fact that she's at home enjoying herself. Her aging father, who is in his late 80s, lives with them as well. She has 3 children. They've all left home and they're all relatively successful. None of them are married with children. So she's not a grandmother and is looking forward to being one day. So we were getting together really to look at what could she do that would break the sort of predictability, the conundrum of what else can I do? I'm still too young to, just fully retire. My husband's still working. But by the same token, I want something that's kind of exciting for me. But I don't know what that is. So the first card I drew was the Moon card. Now it was interesting because the Moon card came up twice for her in the course of the reading from 2 different decks. And so that led to a more intensive discussion between us about what the Moon card really does mean, which of course is dreams, because at night the moon comes out, we're dreaming. So it's connected to intuition, feelings, sometimes sort of suspicions or maybe darker feelings that are harder to access. So indeed, it was the perfect card to represent how she is feeling. But by the same token, I said, however, it's suggesting that the way forward for you to really get in tune with what you'd really like to do right now would be to record your dreams, work with them, get yourself a scrapbook, as I often recommend to clients. Collage your dreams, date them, give them a title, work with them for a while, do some interpretive work. And I said, certainly the Oracle has suggested that this is the royal road to enlightenment for you, going down this way forward. Now, how you handle the star has everything to do with the good outcome. Now, the star card is about wish upon a star, all your hopes and dreams coming true. So in other words, her positivity, her expectation, her joy, her bliss, if you like, has everything to do with a good outcome. So knowing what makes her happy, what she really loves to do, what she's really intrigued and interested in, would be a place to start. Indeed, the outcome card was the 2 of Swords, and it depicts here a woman with 2 swords, which symbolizes 2 different paths. So over the next 6-8 months, she's going to have to decide one way or the other. Now, when we talked about, yeah, but what's my life purpose? What would that look like? The Seven of Swords answered that. Now, the Seven of Swords in classic meaning is about a bad plan. This would be, if you were at war and the night before the big battle, you sneak into the enemy camp to de-weaponize them. But unfortunately, you'd only are able to take 5 of 7 weapons. That means 2 weapons can be used against you still the next day in battle. So basically it's like sneaking around, bad plan. So I said, when we look at that in terms of your life purpose, and she's a Scorpio, I said, do you know what the profession is most highly recommended for Scorpios? And she said, no, I don't actually. And I said, well, it's like being a 007. So she laughed and she said, well, that's just hilarious because I do love books about that, spies. And I said, yeah, so you might want to investigate taking a PI license and spying on people. But somehow taking that element or that process and making that into your life purpose. So your life purpose is about digging down under the surface and revealing what is not revealed, not obvious, what's hidden, and bringing it to light, and that's transformative, which is very Scorpio. So she said that was really interesting. She was definitely going to take that on board and think about that more going forward. Then we switched topics and sort of jumped track for a while. She wanted to discuss her children. She had 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. Her eldest, she was concerned about. He was also a Scorpio. He ventured on his own to be self-employed, and she was concerned about whether that was going to work out well for him. And indeed, the 5 of Pentacles answered that. And the 5 of Pentacles is about changing physical circumstances over which we have no control, leading to sickness and or poverty. She said, well, that's not a good card. And I said, no, it's suggesting that indeed for him to be on his own may not be the best approach for him, that although he's had trouble working for other people, and no doubt this is what's led him to want to be self-employed, he's not likely to find his success down that road, but this may be a great learning experience for him. And she said, oh, well, that would be typical of him. He always has to, learn the hard way. So she said, no doubt this is what's going to happen to him this time as well. Then we went to her daughter, her middle child, and she is happily employed, has a good job, has a condo, and has a boyfriend. And my client is hoping to be a grandmother soon. And I said, my intuition was no, not with this man that she's with. And she said, well, she has had problems in the relationship, not surprising to me. And I drew the Knight of Wands. So Knight of Wands is like the Knight of Fires. This is about fire in action. And I said, I think it would be a mistake. I think if your daughter marries this man, she'll move on from it and end up a single mom. I said, I think really your daughter does really want to be a mother. She wants to have a child, and she's trying to sort of cobble that out of this relationship. But in fact, he's not the right one for her, and she'll end up a single mom anyway if she pursues that family life with this man. And then her 3rd child was a boy, and I said, he's not likely to make you a grandmother until he finishes an apprenticeship. That was the 8 of Pentacles, which is the apprenticeship card. And she said, yes, he's in med school. And she said, you're right. He's accumulating a frightening amount of debt, of course, as med students do. And he's studying, and he certainly is not in any position to have a child right now. And the girlfriend, his girlfriend, lives quite a distance away. They're having a distant relationship. And I said, I don't think this relationship is likely to survive his apprenticeship. And she said, oh, so you don't think they'll get married? And I said, I'm not feeling that. And indeed, I turned over the death card. So it's often, which would suggest that the relationship indeed will end before it'll go down the aisle and have a family. It's likely to end before that point, which validated exactly what my intuition was saying. And I find that very often in my readings, that I have intuitions, and the tarot indeed validates that feeling, often quite strongly, as it did in this situation. And so she said, oh, well, that's too bad. Then she wanted to jump track a little bit and talk about her brother, who is in a relationship that is very difficult. They lived together briefly for a time, and then she moved out, and she hoped it would stay apart. However, he's been sneaking, she said, to see this woman, because there was such a to-do when they split. They were afraid he was going to kill himself. He threatened suicide. But he is seeing her again, and she said, I'm hoping they'll split for good and this will come to an end. And I turned over the Lover's card from another deck. And the Lover's card does suggest this is a relation. Sometimes this card is described as a soulmate card, although I wouldn't necessarily suggest that, but the card is certainly saying this is a powerful relationship, and unfortunately very likely to continue to dominate her brother's relationship life. So we talked then about her brother and his history with relationships, and this relationship in particular. So thank you once again for joining me here today to explore the reading with me and this client. If you've enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and remember to press the notification bell so that you receive notifications in your inbox that I've uploaded a new video, which I intend to do every week. So thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye for now.